St. Lewis, do an initial start-up climb test, and then we'll do a speed test on the deck to see how fast this aircraft goes on the deck and for how long. So here we are, sat in the cockpit. Beautiful cockpit we've got here. Beaufighter. Loads of detail in there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right, guns on this. It's the Beaufighter 1F, and we've got 6 303 Brownings on the wings. You can just see them there. We've got 2 on the right wing, and no, we haven't. We've got 4 on the right wing, and we've got 2 on the left, and then directly below the pilot is 4 Hispano Mark 1 cannons. We get about a minute of firepower from the Brownings, and the loadout for those is very similar to the Spitz and Hurries. And with the cannons we've got 4 drums. Each one lasts about 5 seconds, but they do take 30 seconds to load. So you'll get 5 seconds of cannon and then 30 seconds of no cannon while the chap in the back reloads it, the next drum, and then you get another 5 seconds of cannon. So you've got to pick your fights, and you've got to time your fights, because this, I mean, the Beaufighter is all about the firepower, I guess. So okay, so let's have a look at the let's start her up. So put the chocks in, 2 clicks on each of these fuel cocks to inner. The S, as far as I know, it links all the tanks together, so they run as one. So turn that one on. Fuel, I've put 25% in, which is 66 gallons on here, and that should last for about an hour and a half. There should be plenty of time, certainly enough time for what we're going to do. So start the engine. Let's start the engines up. Takeoff, we're going to give it about 10%, I think between 8 and 10% throttle. For the sake of this little experiment, 50% rad. So start the right engine, start the left engine. Let's have a look at the cockpit. Miles per hour there, feet per second, altitude, there's your slip indicator, 2 engines there, RPM on both engines, and then if I just turn that, and just here you can see engine temps for both engines just tucked out the way there, and then you've got engine oil temp there, manifold pressures. There we go. Brakes, right then. Engine temperature, I think around 30 is good for takeoff. I think you can get away with about 25. It takes about 2 minutes to warm the engines up on this spec for 30 degrees. So just a few more degrees to go there. I've been taking off with no trim at all at the moment. She seems to take off okay with that, and then trim her once she's up. 24 degrees. I wonder if we can set these engines the same. Yeah, 51. Yeah, everything's the same. Yeah. We have got boost, so we can take off with boost. Where's the airstrip? Oh, it's there. And we're on backwards, but I'm not going to worry about that. 28 degrees, let's get the chocks out and have a wander over to, oops, she doesn't like that. Go full throttle, see what that does. There we go, now she's going. take her over to the airstrip, the runway. Now she's not responding well to the rudder until we've got a bit of movement, which is what you'd expect. Right, I think we're at the end of the runway, but we're at the wrong end of the runway. But I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to take off anyway. There we go. Okay, so I've taxied to the runway. Temperatures, engine temperature 44 on left, 46 on right. So I started moving when I was on about 30, but I did have to give it quite a bit of throttle, because anything less was going to, when it was on 30 degrees engine temperature, the engines were starting to cut out if you just gently went up with the throttle. So I've given it a bit of power to get here. So let's start our climb. So boost on, chocks out, and I'm going to floor it. I've given it about 10 clicks left rudder. So let's go for it and see what happens. Here we go. Still pulling to the right slightly. It's not too bad now. I'll wait till the tail lifts up. There we go. And we're up. So gear up. Shakes a little bit before the gear comes up totally. There we go. Right, I'm going to knock it back to 85 then. So boost off, prop 85, throttle 85, which is supposed to be cruise. So I reckon on about 170 miles an hour and about 1700 on the feet per minute. We'll just do a turn here and get away from the sun. Look at that back of the cockpit there. Okay, we'll head towards Deal, I guess, and beyond. So let's have a look. 180 at the moment. Feet per minute needs to be about 1700. So we'll drop that down a bit. Anything higher and the speed drops off quite a lot with these settings. So go, speed's creeping up. Engine temperature, this will stabilise at about 209 on both engines, and oil temperature will stabilise at about 63. RPM 2560. Still climbing too much, so we'll nose down a bit. I want that to be about 17. Speed to about 170. 170, there we go. So if I can nose up a little bit to get that on 1700. Gently. There we go, and it should stay at 170. Oh, so the moment you go up higher than 1700 on feet per minute, your speed drops off with these settings. Let's get it trimmed up. What are we? 1.9. help, wouldn't it? There we go. 16, 170, and then back off once we hit 1700. Come on, back off. No, 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 no. So the speed drops the moment you go up over 1700 feet per minute. There we go, that's it. If I can keep that, then we're good. Altitude 6,000 feet. There we go. 203, so that's creeping up. That's creeping up slightly. This will drop off considerably when we get up high to about 20k. It suddenly starts dropping off rapidly because the bow doesn't like it high altitude. But it's a lot better on the deck. There we go, if I can keep that. 17, 18, still creeping up. Come down, come down. There we go. There we go. Temperature of the engines. Engine temperature about the same now. Or similar. 209, 2010. We're just above 50% radiator. Oh, give us a chance to look out the window. $18, $17, that's better. Should be on 170. There we go. She seems to be able to climb okay at this. It's just when we get really high. Engine temperature seems higher than it was yesterday. Let's drop the nose down a little bit. There we go, look, the speed drops off the moment you go up over 1700. Drop the nose down a little bit. There we go, speed should pick up again. There you go. Bring the nose up. Don't want to go too far to France because there's some heavy flak over there with tracers. It looks quite nice. Unless you're on the receiving end of it. Come on, stay at 17, stay at 17. You'll see how this will drop the moment we start getting up higher. I'm not too sure when it does, but it will drop off considerably. Oh, there's an aircraft in front of us. Who's that? Oh, nose down too much. $170. There we go. Come on. Tricky, tricky, tricky. 170, 16, maybe higher than that. What is that in the distance? Group of aircraft, so that's AI. What are we? 13. Dorniers. Might have a go at them later on, eh? You can literally take out a whole squadron of Dorniers with this, with the firepower, if you play it carefully. And you can fire at distance too, which is good, so you can keep out of harm's way and fire at them, provided they haven't got any fighter cover, of course. And then the whole game changes. It looks like we're losing a bit of speed now, even at 17. Look. So what altitude are we? Nearly 15. But the speed's dropping off at. So I'm going to now drop the feet per minute. Let's take it down to about 1,000 and keep it on about that, if I can. Keep the speed up. 160. What altitude? 15. 214. I thought that would stabilise at about 209, but it's not. It's slightly higher, and that was 63 before the engine oil, and that's lower. I must have had a different engine in it. We'll take a slight right turn a bit, just to keep away from France, because the Ak is a bit deadly over there. I think we're going to have to drop this feet per minute here. Same for about 600 then. What are we doing on this? -1, that's not too bad. Trim it up. 0, I won't stay on 0 for long. 160, 92, what did we say, 600 maybe. We might be able to climb at 160 miles per hour here. I'm concerned it's going to drop off in a minute, and I want to know when it does it, altitude wise. So 16,400 altitude, 160 miles per hour, 850 feet per minute. That's not too bad. I think we can stay at that. See, now the engine's coming down a bit. I've not touched the radiator. You'll notice that the radiator cowlings don't move, and they haven't been animated for this patch. I don't think they will do it either, because they've got more important stuff to do, the Team Fusion boys. So, but it's a minor thing really, just a visual thing. What are we on now? 720. Oh, gone up speed. 209. A bit worried we're going a little bit left here towards France, which is not a good idea. 160. 17. What are we on? 17.5 altitude. Left engine's always a couple of degrees behind the right for some reason. 160. Yes, that's coming down now. So I think over 15,000 feet it starts to become a little bit harder to climb with speed. Straighten it up a little bit. Still want to avoid France. Where's France? I'm right on the coast, look. Beautiful looking cockpit. I really like it. 18, 160, 650. That's coming down now. Feet per minute's coming down a bit, I think. Yeah, considering we started off at 1700 feet per minute when we were on the deck climbing up, at 170 we're starting to, I've got a feeling if I try and climb any steeper than that, the speed's going to come down. Look, $160, 800. It's not too bad. We're nearly at 20,000 feet. That's coming down. You can feel it. I mean, I'm only influencing the stick only gently, but you can feel that it doesn't want to pull up hard. 160, 730. So if I pull the stick back slightly, see the speed's dropped 10 miles an hour. Look, I'll nose down slightly. Just try and keep the speed a little bit above 150. 19.5. Let's see what that does. Try and keep the nose up. So we're nearly at 20k. $20k is looming. Gentle left. I don't want to get too close to the sun, because where's the sun? Oh, that's not too bad. Just destroys all the information on your dials there. So we're over 20k now. $140 would. Let me do a little bit of a turn, get this sun out of the way. Don't like it. Get the sun slightly behind us. 140. We're still climbing even in this turn. Speed's dropped off considerably though. What's temperatures doing? 203, 206, 57. I did this the other day and the engine oil temperature was up at 63 and it sort of was pretty static at 63, I think. That is France again. Right, that's better. We've got the sun behind us now. So 140 at nearly 500 feet per minute. Trimmed, look. $140. Engine temperatures are alright. And we've used, what was that, 9 gallons to get here. It's okay doing a altitude test like this, but this aircraft is not going to be played at this altitude once you're in game. It doesn't like it. Because it does something a little bit special on the deck, which I'll show you later. It's a great place, great plane. It's going to be a sucker for 109s and 110s, I think. If they get behind it it's going to benefit from some Spitfire or Hurricane cover. So I think if anything gets behind this aircraft up high, it's gonna be beaten quite easily. But on the deck, it takes a little bit of flying to be able to make use of the speed, because it has a good speed on the deck, which means you've got to fly it pretty much in a straight line a lot of the time. But you can be effective against fighters with the big gunnery asset that it has, cannons and such. You can fire at stuff from quite a way away. We're still climbing here, but not by much. Those shadows around the cockpit as you turn. I love this cockpit, I really do. I think they've done a grand job on it. $130, $700. I've actually sort of steepened my climb a little bit. I'll back off a little bit. What altitude are we? Nearly 23. Let's drop the nose a bit and get some speed up. I don't like that speed. We're in the minus now. 140. It's starting to complain, you can feel it. Oh, it's starting to shake now, look. Doesn't like it up here. I'm not sure what you can do in terms of mixture and other things, so this is it for me. Okay. I think we'll stick at that. What temperatures have we got? Well, is that? That's because it's shaking, I guess. It's not giving a clear reading, is it? 60 degrees or engine oil, you can read that one, but the two dials underneath here are all over the place, somewhere between 200 and 209, I'm guessing. Okay, so that, I think that'll do us for our altitude. Let's just have a quick, let's try and turn it up here, see what it does. Ooh, it does feel like a big bus up here, doesn't like it. Alright, we'll come down. So as I was dropping my altitude and going back home, I came across these guys. 5 Dorniers here. So, and I thought, well, why don't I show you what the guns are like on this on the bow? Because that's what we want to see, really, isn't it? See what the firepower's like. So I'm not going to get too close to these guys because they will shoot back, so I'm going to try and keep them at range if I can, so I'll back off the throttle a little bit here and you instantly get a shake on so what do we got here? The guy to the left is probably the closest, so I have to remember I've got 5 seconds of cannon, so we've got the icons on so I can see exactly how close I need to be. Right, I think this guy may start firing back in a minute, so I'm going to open fire when I get that reticule. Oh, I've been hit. They're hitting me back. Okay. There we go. Bang, 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 bang. And that's just a couple of seconds burst of fire. And backed off the throttle quite a lot. Throttle back up because I think they're outrunning me. I've got some damage already. That's one of them's out of formation. Cannons are great, look, they take pieces of aircraft away with them. There's his tail gone, look. So I can get the bead right on him. And back off the throttle again because they're... Oh. I'm getting too close. I don't want to be that close to these guys. Oh, missed. And they're hitting me back. That's this tail gone. And I'm getting hit quite a lot now because I'm way too close. I don't want to be this close. I'm on the... Right, I'm going to back off for a second. Oh, has he jumped? Is it just the one left? Oh, somebody's hitting me. It's the one that's dropped out of formation. Oh, there you go. Right, I've just taken this aircraft from an air start, and I've tried to bleed a bit of the speed off. Right, 1, 2, 3, let's just trim it a little bit. Elevator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down to go down to Dover Harbour. I'm going to do a turn and then I'm going to head straight across the deck at high speed with the radiators on 50 and see what the old bird will do. So we'll just follow the coast along until we get to Dover Harbour. There it is. Once around the castle and then we'll head out. I want to bleed the speed off a little bit because I've come down from quite high, and I guess doing a circle of the castle will do that. Because it makes a difference if you've dived down in this thing or you've started from a standing start pretty much. So let's just do a circle of the castle. I'm at cruise settings really, 85 throttle, 85 prop and 50 rad. Right, there we are. So that should bleed the speed down a little bit, and then we'll bring her down into the harbour, and now we'll run. Let's just check the speed. 240, right. Full boost, full prop. I'll trim it as we get across. So 260, engine temperature's 184, and the other engine is 185, so about the same. 6.5 boost. Probably trim it a little better than that. Come on, back down again. I want to be as low as I can, 280. This is at 2,800 RPM. 290. Now she's done this on her own, so she hasn't done it in a dive, so she's crept up to that speed. There we go, 300. Looks like we're diving slightly. 215 and 214. 59 oil. Altitude 0 feet. Looks like we can still go. Oh, there we go. Oh, minus. I'm down. I'm now 100 feet below sea level, which is not good. .300 miles an hour. Still 223. Looks like the temperatures are increasing slightly. 280, 2790. Okay, still at 300. I've done this a couple of times before and I've had some bad flak over near the cliff, so I'm going to do a gentle turn right. Still at 300. Still at 100 feet below sea level. I'll level out a bit. Oh, we are low. Right on the wave tops. Let's have a look at externals. There she goes. Lovely sound. We'll just nip over those cliffs, I reckon, and then head back. See if we can make it back. Probably get shot by the flak. So the temperature's still increasing a little bit. 60 engine oil 62. And there's a couple of big tankers around here somewhere. Oh, we're getting close now. We'll just nip over those cliffs and then run. Hopefully we won't get shot. Oh, there's the flak. I just want to go feet dry for a split second and then try and get out. And then do the same in the opposite direction. As if I was doing a little raid. Right, there we go. Wing over. Without losing too much speed. Because I bet the flak's got me lined up. There it is, you can see it. Oh, you can see the. Oh, that's not good. I don't think I've been hit though. Oh, still at me. Oh, you see those trays? Wow, right in front of me. Still not hit though. White knuckles. Right, I think I've made it. So we got 290, lost a little bit of speed in that turn, but that should come back to me. 230, 2800. I reckon we made it. Just don't put a wing in now. There's the White Cliffs. $290, 300, there we go. So she's come back up to 300 again. We're still flat out, temperatures are static. 230 I think. Actually they've crept up a little bit. Let's have a look. Still at 300 miles an hour. She's a fast old bird. 220, 230, 63 degrees on the oil. Still at 50% rad. 110 throttle boost and prop 100, and she's just purring along. Engine temperatures are about the same, to 280. Oh, that's Dover, dead ahead. That will come into detail in a minute. So I think we'll try and land at Hawkinge. Folkestone will be off that way, off the end of the cliffs. What we got here? 290. I think I've climbed a little bit. There we go. 230. So the temperature of the engine's about the same, 230, just stays at 230. 63 degrees oil. 290, but I think, as I say, I've climbed a little bit. It's dropped down again. So I reckon it'll keep it at 300 miles an hour if you don't climb like I just did. We'll take this into Hawkinge and land it. So it's done the channel dash there and back from a standing start at 300 miles an hour, all the way and all the way back. Past the shipping. Give them a fright. There we go. Let's have a look at some of this scenery. There's Folkestone Harbour, lighthouse. Right, so that test is over, I guess. We'll back down to cruise settings. Right, there's Hawkinge. Well, I guess we'll land east to west, so flaps down, go into a turn at the same time. We'll get the gear down as well. Now I think this aircraft needs a little bit of speed. I think it needs to be about 110 because she likes to drop out the sky at slow speed, so I want to try and keep the speed up a little bit when I land. Okay, lots of shaking going on. Well, I'm going to try and keep the speed up a little bit. I'm going to land in that gap in the trees dead ahead. Throttle back up again because she's not liking that. And we'll come down to that gap. 100 miles an hour. I need to be about 100, 110, I think. Here she comes, right. Keep the speed up as I come in. 110. Now I can back off. And see if she comes down for me. There she is. There we go. And now I can apply some brakes. There we go, stand still. Perfect.